Hey everybody, welcome to Cohenversations number 32. Yep, we're in our 30s. Officially, we are in our 30s. But it feels. Um, Today is Wednesday. On the Geico ad says, what day is it? What day is it? Um, it is Wednesday, the 29th of April. Yes, we are nearing May, if you can believe it. Um, so, Hello, Larry. Welcome. Welcome. I owe today's subject to the wonderful put forth by Mr. Michael Piscatelli and Ms. Katie Regan Moore. They have nothing to do with each other. I just wanted to go on the record as saying that. Their questions are completely diverse, but for one reason or another, they kind of resonated with me. Michael asked me, well, he actually asked me to talk about the content of art during this time obviously meaning COVID. Should we put out dark subject matter or do we owe the world positivity? Excellent question. And then Katie, excuse me, while I scroll here, I'm so technical here. I've got two computer screens here. Um, Katie said, laughter is the best medicine. What are some tricks of the trade for a wonderful comedy, in my opinion? So, totally different things. But I started thinking about this. Um, Obviously, I've been coming on live here and doing my best to be really, really positive. I mean, if for those of you who know me and know my dark side, this is really, really positive. Um, that's a choice I've made because I think there is a positive element to just about everything. There are exceptions. But I thoroughly believe that for the most part, most every subject matter we can find humor in it, which brings up Katie's thing. Um, it may be very dark humor, but there's usually an element of humor if you look at things from the right angle. Um, but there's also a sense of positivity that you can find in just about anything. Obviously, a lot of people are very, very frustrated and frightened, and some are very depressed because of the COVID situation. Because we are remaining inside for the most part, because we are not being able to socialize, because we're not being able to create art in a community type situation. Um, that happens, and it's dark, it's unhappy, it's very frustrating. So I absolutely understand those feelings. Um, I've seen people posting things online about how down they're feeling, how depressed they're feeling, how this is bringing out all the darkness in them. And so I felt the need when I started doing these conversations to try to find the positive. I think it's important to do that. However, having said that, there's a place for dark material too. And as an artist, my deep down true belief is that the only thing we owe society is truthfulness. And that is not overwhelming truth. I'm not talking about we are here to break through all of the bullshit and to the masses. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what our responsibility as artists is to reflect our own truth, how we are feeling. And that means if you are feeling dark, if you are feeling depressed, your art has to reflect that. If you are feeling positive, then your art should reflect that. But that doesn't mean that if you're feeling depressed, it has to be depressing. It may be funny. You may find the humor in your darkness. It's there. And maybe by sharing that, by addressing those problems, you can help turn yourself around. But that's not the important thing. Yes, I would love everyone to be happy. I would love everyone to feel positive. It's just not going to happen. That's not the reality of the situation. But as artists, if we share that, if we share our honest, true feelings, in whatever format that might be, then we are creating art. If we are simply putting forth light, bright, positive entertainment, then we're lying to ourselves and we're lying to our audience, and audiences see through that. So it's essential that you reflect in your art what's actually going on inside of you. Now, we all know that we have multiple things going on inside of us all the time. So if you choose to focus on the bright and happy stuff, that's fine. Or if you choose to dwell on the dark and sad stuff, that's fine too. A nice mix that you can get. But I'll tell you, one of the comments that I got on this string here was, where is it? The darkest times, John Apostle said, the darkest times created. So who are we to argue against history? And I think that's what we need to look at. If any of this survives, and if people in the future come back and look at it, are they going to see a truthfulness reflected in our words, or in our performances, or in our presentations, or in our talks, or whatever we're doing? Or if you're painting a picture, does it reflect your truthfulness? Those are the questions. Now, as most of you know, I'm a huge fan of Stephen King, and I found two of his quotes that I think answered this question pretty well. The first one deals with humor. And he says, let me hold it up here so I got it and I don't have to look away. Humor is almost always anger with its makeup on, which I love. We can also replace anger with fear or depression. Humor is any of those dark things with its makeup on. Love that. And then if we are talking about our art as possible dark output, if we write something that is sad or scary or dark or painful, it's important to think of this other quote that I always go back to. Asked him why he wrote the way he wrote. He says, "We make up horrors to help us deal with the real ones." We're dealing with horrors right now. We can make up things that are far worse, and people have made up things that are far worse. I think it's important to look at that and realize that the things that we can create in our brains make COVID-19 pale by comparison. It's important to face reality, to not be carried away by fear or panic. But if you're feeling fear or panic, recognizing that that is a normal thing to fear and feel, and maybe by expressing it, you can recognize some of the ridiculousness about the panic. Who knows? My sister, Maggie, wrote, total frustration with the news media. Last night alone, 1, if you test positive, you should avoid all contact with both dogs and cats. Used to be just cats, but now dogs too. How can you socially distance from pets? Unrealistic and absurd. It was on a newscast. Also, they released from the White House documented military proof that UFOs of some sort were seen in the sky. This is now supposedly documented from the military. They showed it. Looked like clouds to me, but that panic version of everything just... And then she told me to work that into a question and deal with it. So here it is. I'm working it in. You're going to see things on TV that both calm you and terrify you. You're going to see things that you absolutely believe and you totally discount. The news media is putting out whatever they can put out, and unfortunately they have a lot to be able to report on because people are saying stupid things. And they're sending out mixed messages. She's absolutely right. We're not going to socially distance ourselves from our pets. That's not going to happen. Well before any kind of a news report came out like this, when we were taking our dogs for a walk, we were keeping them away from other dogs. It's just easier because if they're getting into something, then their owners and getting into something. So it's easier just to keep that distance, you know? So I'm not particularly worried about them getting COVID-19. Not one of them has coughed in my presence recently, so we're pretty good there. As far as the UFOs go, hey, we have been seeing, people have been reporting UFOs forever. The fact that we now have someone in the White House reporting it doesn't particularly surprise me these days, but that's fine. Hey, maybe they bring a cure. Anyway. Laugh when you can. If you're feeling fear or frustration, let it out. Talk to somebody about it. Write something about it. Share it. Because my guess is you are going to be able to laugh at it at some point. And if you can't, hopefully you're allowing somebody else to. And no matter what, you are sharing your art, which is hopefully truthful from within you. You may not agree with anyone else's truth, but it'll be truthful for you. So, for today, don't touch your face. I'm mixing this up. Did you notice that? Don't touch your face. Stay far apart from each other. Wash your hands. Laugh a little. Share a tear with a friend. Give a hug. Know I love you. Thanks for tuning in. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.